Hey everybody, we have Jason Fried here today. He's the founder of 37 Signals, and he just wrote a book called Rework, which is an awesome read for anybody out there. And Jason, your Twitter bio talks about tea, and you talk about simplicity a lot. So I just wanted to ask you why you feel tea is important, or why is tea your favorite drink?
Yeah. So thanks for having me, by the way. Tea is something that I don't know when I got into it a few years ago, and I've really just kind of continued to get into it. And that's one of the cool things about it is that you can sort of get into it really easy and then really kind of slide into it and keep learning about it because there's a million different kinds and all sorts of different treatments of it and different countries it comes from, etc. And so that's kind of fun because I like to explore stuff and kind of I'm very curious. So it's kind of a cool thing to learn about. Currently, I'm really liking this tea called matcha tea, which is I have it every morning. It's it's a powdered green tea basically, and it's cool. You put it in. I should actually go grab it, but you put it into a bowl and then you whisk it up with a bamboo whisk and you put some water in there and obviously and you kind of drink it from a bowl and um, it's just a fun ritual in the morning. It takes a few minutes to kind of prepare it and I like the way it tastes and I'm not a big caffeine person, so it's not really a pick me up so much. It's just something I like to do in the morning to just kind of get my day started.
Cool. So I'm a big coffee guy,
All right.
and so caffeine's probably you're probably not a big coffee guy if you don't like caffeine. But
Yeah, I don't really like coffee. Caffeine doesn't really affect me that much, I guess. So it's yeah, unless I drink a ton of it, and I typically don't. So I don't really need that like whole pick me up thing, really, like coffee drinkers typically do.
So if I could take kind of your tea mentality, it's kind of a simple thing, it's a very easy thing, and kind of how you always talk about simplicity on everything you guys do, and you talk a lot about the importance of sleep, and so not having caffeine. If you could give us a little thing on why you think sleep is so important, and a lot of people, I think you see everyone, you have to work 18 hours a day, and you need to,
Right, right.
go crazy out there, and kind of your thoughts on all that.
Yeah, sleep. I mean, it just is important. I think it's very hard to be creative when you're just working forever. And that's the thing. Like if you do pull, I mean, every once in a while I might put a long day or whatever. But when I do, at the end of the day, I am not at all creative. I'm not at all in a position to make good decisions. It's usually like, man, I'm tired. And so people who seem to work long hours, they put themselves in a position where they're not really in a great position to make great calls and to come up with creative ideas. I find that, if you're working on something at 3 in the morning, because you've been working all day, you're better off going to sleep and coming up with something at 10 in the morning the next morning instead of trying to push out some really great idea at 3 a.m. Now, some people like to work late at night. So I'm not talking about night versus day working. I'm just talking about like if you've been working since 9 a.m., you should not be working at 1 a.m. You should cut the day short like everyone else does, hopefully, and get some rest. And you'll come up tomorrow rested and feeling better and make better decisions. So I just don't think that you can be superhuman.
Yeah.
And that's really what it comes down to. So for me, sleep is like the best productivity tip I think I have is just get some rest.
Yeah, so do you think that I agree with you on the long term? I mean, if you try to do 12 hours by the end of it, you have your brain's just fried. So
Yep.
are you like a Parkinson's law believer? Do you try to cram a lot into a short time, or do you just plan accordingly for a long period of time?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Parkinson's law thing is true, which I guess what says work expands to fill the time available.
Yeah,
Is that what that is? Yeah,
yeah.
I think that that's true. I tend to work in spurts, so like I'll work for a few hours, then do something else for a while, and I'll work for a few hours and do something else for a while. So I'm not really a good like, and I don't think most people are like a full work day kind of person. I think that I'm most productive just in short spurts, and I need uninterrupted stretches of time to get stuff done. But I probably won't work for 6 hours straight or anything. I'll work for 2 hours, and then I'll read something on the web or go outside or whatever, and then come back and work another couple hours. So my day is kind of spread out. Um, but hours wise, I definitely don't put in super long days.
Cool. Well, hey man, that's all, and thank you very much for taking the time out of your day.
You
Congratulations on
bet.
your book, and
Thanks so much. Hey, one tip for tea people, or not tea people, but people who want to learn about tea. The problem is most people don't like tea because it's prepared wrong. So the thing is that if you go to a restaurant or you go to Starbucks or a coffee shop, they usually brew the tea with water that's way too hot, and that turns the tea very bitter. Unless you're drinking like black tea, but if you drink green tea and the water's too hot, it's really bitter, and it's one of the reasons why people don't really like it. So if you're at a place like a coffee shop or Starbucks where they just use boiling hot water to make green tea, just grab a couple pieces of ice or something and toss it in there, and it'll taste a whole lot better. So hopefully
Hey,
that's helpful.
thanks for the tip, man. And
You
everyone is
bet.
the author of Rework and founder of 37 Signals. And thanks again.
You bet. Thanks for having me. Cool.